Okay, I know most of us know the story of David and Joseph. David from the bush to the palace, Joseph as a prisoner becoming a prime minister. Today we have the David and the Jacob of our days. My name is Inshabaja Patalinda. We want to take this great opportunity to thank you all, our dearest ones, for always liking, sharing, and also subscribing to all our interviews and also whatever that we do to inspire and make positive impact in the lives of our generations. We kindly ask you to continue sharing, liking, and also subscribing. Yes, we have advised us and we have taken it. We are so much grateful and God richly bless you. As I said, I have the David, the Jacob, no, David, the Joseph in our midst. Today I have with me here, I love this man, from the streets to the parliament house, straight to the state. Yes, I'm glad to introduce to you Honorable Reverend Francis-Xavier Sosu. Please, you're welcome to join us.
Thank you very much. I hope everyone out there is doing well.
You're all doing great. What's the meaning of Xavier? I've been trying to get the meaning. What's the meaning, please?
Well, Xavier is a typical Catholic name. We have Saint Francis-Xavier Sosu, and Xavier simply, depending on which context you are talking about, could mean like the hand of God. And Francis-Xavier, who was a Catholic saint, was dedicated to fighting for very vulnerable people. And so I was named after Saint Francis-Xavier many years ago. And depending on where you belong, Xavier could be Xavier, it could be Xavier, it could be Javier, it could be any, depending on whether you are speaking as a Spanish, a French, or an English.
Yes. I really love the name. I always Xavier is so great, very great. So who is Honorable Reverend Kojo Sosu? I love the Kojo because I'm Major, and my father is Kojo, so you can see it. So please, can you tell us something about yourself? Who are you?
Well, I'm a young man who grew up from Accra New Town, where I lived for many years as a street kid. Used to sell on the street, selling pepper, tomatoes, onions, momoni, and all the things. Sometimes even is it rubber bag those days? Sometimes refresh. Before eventually I was found on the street and encouraged to go to school. Because of street life, I started school very late because I started nursery school when I was 8 years old. And I have to struggle through our typical morning and afternoon shift school. So anytime we're in the morning, once you close, you go to cell. When you're in the afternoon, you go to cell before you go to school. Yeah, this continued until somewhere when I was in the basic school, the junior high school. I became a complete street kid, sleeping at the marketplace and struggling through the market. Yes, but was still in school at the time. And so eventually, when I got to the senior high school and still living on the street, but this time around living in a kiosk around Kotobabi, and eventually got people who were God-fearing people, the Church of Christ, through the Village of Hope Orphanage. They came to rescue me from the street, paid my fees, and eventually the rest is history because I was able to go to Legon. From Legon, went to the law school, then went to Ghana School of Law, was called to the bar in 2010, and I've since been practicing as a human rights lawyer until 2020 when I won to become an MP.
Wow. I told you, from the streets. But I want to know this. I know that you just made us to know that you were doing all sort of things to catapult yourself. But how come that you ended up, you find yourself on the street? I want to get what the cause is.
Well, I was in the street for two main reasons. The first one was that we're from a very poor family. My parents did not have, my mother didn't have, my dad didn't have. My dad lost everything in 1982 when he was repatriated from Nigeria. And I recall that as children, things were really difficult. Our firstborn was blind, secondborn dropped out of school. I was the third. And so things were generally difficult. Initially, we were all helping my parents selling on the street. And because we were selling, street life became normal for us until the junior high school when we were no more in Accra New Town. And then that one, I had to become a complete street kid and live and sleep at the marketplace and still go to school.
Wow. Uh, you see, when I heard your story, I was like, this is a story. This is a story because we have been reading the Bible. I know a lot of people are out there on the street, but from the streets now a member of parliament, and you're always having a welcoming face. That's one thing I love about you. Actually, today is my first time of seeing you in t-shirt. You're always in a captain, and you're always, God richly bless you. I'm just speechless, it's so sad, but at the end of everything, the greatest thing is you are out of it. You are out of it. So what were some of the challenges you faced or you went through while when you were on the street, please?
Well, I mean, street life is a place where you survive. I mean, it's about survival. I remember that there were many times that we're living all kinds of wildlife. Um, Sometimes you have to pick food in the garbage. Sometimes you have to pick food. Sometimes you even steal food to eat. Um, I mean, all kinds of really, really wild things. I remember at a point, even when we're selling kerosene, there were times that you were tempted to even add water to the kerosene to go and sell because you want to. Yeah. It's just like a fast life, or what they used to call the cha-cha. You go and play like gambling, just to see whether you can get money. And most of those things did not yield anything. But as children, we're just doing those things to kind of survive. And there were people who were introducing us to all kinds of things like drugs. I was sent many times to go and buy weed and things for people. And so these were some of the challenges. I mean, the good news is that despite all those things, I did not allow the difficulties and those drugs and people who were involved in them to affect my life. And so even in the dark, you can still be a shining star if you really want to rise and make something out of your life.
You can still become a shining star even in the woods,
In the dark.
a dark. um all these challenges, now by the grace of God, you have gotten a position, you have gotten it to a level that at least you can also catapult someone in life. Okay, what are you doing concerning these challenges to help those who are still on the street, please?
Well, there are a lot I'm working on. Um, Streetism is a big problem and a big challenge in Ghana, and you need like policy interventions to deal with them. One of the recent laws I have introduced, which has to do with kids who are being held on the street and people begging for money for them so they can treat them, particularly children who have cancer and tumors. It's a law I'm trying to push in Parliament. As you are aware, recently I work on laws to deal with death penalty and witchcraft accusation and all these things. And all of them are legislative interventions meant to really help resolve some of the broad challenges that we face, and more specifically with the street. The fundamental reasons why people end up on the street is poverty and lack of opportunities. And so, as a member of parliament, I try to create those opportunities for people. Started a job center, Madina Job Center, which has connected over or impacted over 6,000 people so far in 2.5 years. We doing a lot of mentorship program, doing community to community engagement and mentorship to let people know that regardless of where they were born, they can still, something good can come out of their lives. So a lot is ongoing from my side to seek to address the issue, but it's a broader issue that requires a major intersectorial work to be able to deal with. And I'm hoping that maybe when I'm finally, or my party is finally in power, we can work through the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection to ensure that the streetism is eliminated, if not reduced drastically.
God richly bless you for that. God richly bless you. You know, there are some people, the moment they leave where they were, they just forget about everything because now I have it. So let me just focus on my those that I'm in the same level with. God richly bless you for not ignoring them. That I've been following you, and sometimes I see you go, like sometimes you go to the schools, support them with chairs. Just recently I saw you with some women. I don't know if that was your mom. You people were practicing Gary, where you people were dancing and the women were also happy. That's a very great thing from the streets. It's very inspiring from the streets. As you say, you can become a shining star even in the darkness. Wow. But someone would say, one, as a street guy, you doing business, we would have expected you to become a businessman or something, but you ended up becoming a politician. What inspired you to enter into politics?
Well, I think that uh, politics is not a profession. So, my profession as a lawyer, I think, has a lot of inspiration from the street because I've seen a lot of street fights. I've seen people being violated, women, children being beaten, very serious treatment to people on the street. And so the sense of injustice in our society propelled me to want to do law so I can fight that injustice. Now, when I was a lawyer for over 10 years, I was committed to this human rights and public interest law. I saw that there were a lot of limitations in our laws and people are being affected in so many ways. So I can now be in parliament to contribute to the lawmaking process. And so my inspiration really from the streets is what got me to do law, and the inspiration from the law and looking at the limitations of the law is what pushed me into parliament so that I can contribute on the policy level as to how the kind of law we make, how does those laws secure or guarantees the welfare of the most vulnerable people. Right now there's a law I have proposed for 5% employment of persons with disabilities. If that law gets passed, every person with disability can get a job in Ghana. The other laws on various, in fact, there's one I'm even considering on part for children where we will proscribe or we will ban any form of taxation on parts for women because we don't understand why parts, which is a necessity, must always be taxed. And so we either produce it in Ghana, or if we cannot produce it and we don't have the technology, then if people are importing them and all that, then it must be tax free so that the cost of people getting parts will be very, very minimal because it's a necessity for women. And so currently it affects the most vulnerable. And it is because of this, that is why I believe God brought me here so that we sit at the table of policy and table of lawmaking and assist with laws and policies that can address the needs and concerns of the most vulnerable.
Wow. God richly bless you. I can't stop saying God bless you. And I know that God has blessed you and He will continue to bless and bless and bless. Today I told you we are learning a lot. I don't know what you're also going through. Just as He said, you can still shine. I'm still, I want to hit on the weight. You can still shine. You can still shine as a star while in the darkness. Don't give up. Don't give up. Honorable, I love the Reverend. I love the Reverend. I don't know why you're not adding it to your name, but Honorable, you see, there's something that has been bothering me because I know you're really doing great. Just recently, the primary election, I realized that you had 100%, and for your people to leave their house, go out there to vote for you, it shows the love. And it's also for someone to show love, meaning that you're really doing something great, and God bless you for that. Yes, congratulations on that also. But there's something that is actually worrying me, since you are doing everything to help those on the street. I don't know if you have heard of this. Every bus stop in Madina here, we have these guys who are in charge. They say they are those in charge of those bus stops. And a before a driver can pick someone, unless you give them something. And these guys, some of them, the way they have been treating those guys on the streets, we have some guys that they will help the trotro drivers and their mates to load so that they can get something to buy food. And these guys who I say they're in charge, they will, some of them have, the last time I nearly cried. One guy slapping this small mate, just because to them, why is that the guy have to pick someone from their place? Please, I don't know if you have heard that, and it's our plea that you kindly do something for us on that.
Well, I mean, it's something I'm willing to take a look at and then do something about. But I have not personally got any information on those matters. In fact, nobody has a right to even do that in the first place, because these are public spaces, and beyond the road traffic regulation that allows cars to stop at designated areas and pick passengers, no individual has a right over those spaces. But I'm willing to take a look at it and then see what we can do about it. Yes.
So, Honorable, I want this. Why do you think the youth of today are not achieving their vision? Is it from the church, the parents, or the individual? What's the cause of it?
Well, the question is, do the youth have any vision? See, because you only achieve what you have and what you aim at. The current young people, young generations are so distracted, and they are distracted by technology, which is supposed to help them become better. They are distracted by social media, which is supposed to be a tool to empower them. They are distracted by social vices because of cultural infiltration through the information explosion. And so a distracted person cannot be an achiever, because if you do not separate yourself from distractions, distractions will separate you from your goals. And so many young people are unable to achieve anything because they are so distracted. And some people are so distracted that they don't even have goals in the first place, because every person is driven by their goals. So if you know that, well, I'm 19, I'm 20, I'm 25, I'm 30, and these are my goals. By the time I turn 30, I'm 19 now, this is what I want to achieve. By the time I turn 35, this is what I want to achieve. Then you now tell yourself, how do I achieve those things? I may need training, I may need finances, I may need support. Then where do I go to get all these things? So your life is circled around some dream that you intend to achieve. Unfortunately, not many people are dreaming today. Not many people are having goals. Not many people are having a focus. They have no idea where they want. And if you don't know where you are going, any road can take you there. And that's why they are all over the place, distracted.
So separate yourself from distractions in order to achieve your vision. Okay, so sometimes, as he's saying, if you think that you don't have a vision, sit down, assess yourself, separate yourself from distractions, and you'll be able to achieve that vision. Do you think that government, parents, parents and church have more effect on the youth in terms of behavior?
Well, I mean, everyone is a product of a society.
Yeah.
And so the first unit of our society is a family. So that is where you are supposed to be nurtured and brought up. And so many people don't get good nurturing because of the families that are broken down. Family values have been eroded. Many people are raised as single parents. Some children are abused as kids. So their nurturing is wrong. So it affects their eventual makeup. Now, one would have thought that when you are not properly nurtured, maybe education or educational system can complement that. The question, what are we teaching in schools? Even in our curriculum, do we still have like life skills? We have things that will build the morality and of people. We have RME, but to what extent does the teaching of RME even shape our collective morality as a people? And then that also is a limitation, because sometimes even when we used to teach Kessi for boys and girls and used to teach RMEs are not taught as religious things that are supposed to build you up. And so the church is supposed to have filled in that gap, but the church has also failed because churches are not preaching morality anymore. We are more we are more religious than being godly, you see. And you can be religious and still not have the spirit of Christ. You can be religious and not have love, compassion, mercy, and have the desire to be there and be selfless for people. You can be so religious and still not have those things. Because the people who actually said crucify Jesus, they were religious people, but their religious persuasion was they were so eager, but it was not according to knowledge, as the Bible may tell us in the book of Romans 10. So, and when it comes to the state level, what examples is the state setting for the young people? Look at the corruption, and corruption-related matters at the national level. Look at how politicians lie. You can see a lie. People are so partisan that because of partisanship, even when it is red, it will say it's white. If it is black, you say it's blue. And so what are the children learning? So I think that the kind of messed up young people we have in this generation is as a result of a combination of broken down family ties, lack of proper education, and the state level not showing good example in leadership. Then the church also has failed.
How?
Well, the church failed because the Bible is clear. Unless God is lying, if we know that God is not a liar and the Bible is the absolute truth and the absolute word of God, when the Bible says that train up a child in the way he should go, and that when he grows, he will not depart from it. Any child that depart from it is defying biblical logic. It's either you didn't train your child well or something went wrong somewhere. And so, in that same context, it's important that young people will also have to see that there are people who are willing to help people who are themselves helpable. There are many young people who are not helpable. And for you, there is no hope for you because your parents can do their best, the church can do its best, the state can do its best. But if you yourself don't want to change, you don't want to imbibe what you have been taught, you don't want to, learn what you have been told, nothing can change you. And so, yes, the state has failed, the families have failed, churches are failing, but you don't need to fail yourself. Even if everybody fails, at least you don't fail yourself. You can do something with your life.
You don't fail yourself. And don't expect everybody to buy into whatever you want to do. Don't fail yourself. Don't fail yourself. You can make it. You can do it. I'm really enjoying this section. I'm enjoying the entire interview. I think we have to write a story about your life. Or you have a book. Please, do you have a book about your life?
I have several books actually. I have a book titled Love Lifted Me from the Street, Homeless, Street Lawyer. You can just Google and like Lawyer Sosu's books, or go to Amazon.com. If you type my name, you will definitely get those books. If you go to my Facebook page, you will find all those books there. And you can look them up and you can read.
Your story is like a script, that we have to act. Or maybe one day we have to look into it, acting, putting it in a movie form so that we can all watch it.
Well, that is a possibility someday.
Yes, definitely.
It is a possibility someday.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Wow. From the streets, now a member of parliament. And his people loves him. He's always having a welcoming face, He's always in the mood to welcome people. Yeah, I know you are tired, but you still made sure that, yes, you make time for everybody. God richly bless you for that. Please, what advice do you have for the youth who want to enter into politics?
Well, if you want to enter into politics, find a profession. Because you need to have your own profession before you come to politics. But politics is not a profession, it's an avenue to serve people. And so Those who may be thinking that they are coming to politics to make money, wrong area. If you think that you want to join politics because you've seen politicians making money, wrong. That will be a recipe for prison, because once you think about politics as a source of money, it means you are planning to steal from the people. And so don't let people who have suddenly become so rich because of politics, don't envy those people, because they are not good monies. I mean, there are people who are doing their genuine businesses, who are having their own money before they join politics. They have their professions that can give them money. That's different. But people who solely rely on politics to make money are thieves.
Are thieves. So if you have it in mind that I want to enter into politics because in Ghana here, if you want to make money, unless you enter into politics, please. If you don't want people to call you a thief, please have a business before entering into politics, so that when you enter there, you can also help people, just like how he's helping people, those on the streets, from the streets to the states. I really love your story. I really love your story. Honorable, we are wrapping up, but I'm touched. I'm really touched by your story. Please, in general, what advice do you have for the youth, the parents, and the church?
Well, I would say that the parents must know that however their children turn is dependent on them, largely dependent on them. Because the nature they give them, the courage they give them, the advice they give them is what is going to drive them. The church must also know that there is a mission. Jesus came to die for a reason. The reason is to reconcile us back to God. And so the church will need to preach righteousness. They need to preach morality. They need to open up and have a conversation about all the sexuality and all the issues that are out there, so that the young people can find lessons and pattern their lives well in accordance with the word of God. The church should not be a place of exploitation of people, as we see in many times. The state will also have to know that the future belongs to these young people. And so if you are failing the young people, it means that you are failing the future. And finally, I want every young person to know that you must believe in yourself and in your abilities. You must keep dreaming and keep believing in those dreams, because the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams and who are willing to fight for their dreams. And so keep dreaming. It doesn't matter whether people believe you or they don't believe you. And it's normal when people don't believe you, because people will not always believe in what you believe. But if you believe in yourself and you keep believing what you believe, someday they will believe what you believe. So just keep believing. And in doing so, remember that everyone else can fail you, but you don't have to fail yourself. So you don't have an excuse to say that it's because my parents failed, because my parents didn't pay my fees, or because my math teacher is bad, that's why I'm failing, because the pastor is not good, because the state is... No, you see, giving an excuse for failure in itself is failure. And so don't give any excuse for failure. Take responsibility. Look, it takes people who are willing to take responsibility of their failures to rise above those failures and become successful. So you must take responsibility and rise up and just keep believing yourself, believe in your dream. And if you can do that, you will definitely make it. If everyone fails you, don't fail yourself.
Don't fail yourself. Don't fail yourself. Honorable, we are blessed to have you. You are blessed to have you. I wish, I will always run to your office. I will always run to you, for more knowledge. You're a man full of knowledge. Should I say? No. So, David, Joseph, then I have to add Solomon to it. A man full of wisdom. A man full of wisdom. God richly bless you so much for all that you are doing. As you heard him, please don't give up. From the streets, while you were there, some people also came, meaning God sent your helpers to come and help you out. And today he is here. People might make you feel as if you are useless, excuse me, you don't have vision, you don't have anything. please focus. Focus. As he said, separate yourself from distractions. And at the end of everything, God will help you to achieve your vision. One day, I know you too, you will share your story. We will all share our stories. So make that story in order to make impact. Thank you so much. But we are not going to let you go. We love you so much. And we know that you have been, engaging yourself with people. A lot of people will come your way. I know you have been through a lot, but people will continue to hurt you. Even you yourself, sometimes you might, feel some way. So, generational changes, we always said, okay, we will help you. Anytime you're sad, anytime someone hurts you, just look at this book written by prophetess Amma Precious. Let it go. Whatever you're going through, people will come your way to hurt you. I know you have been going through a lot. So this is from generational changes to you. And we pray that the Lord will speak to you through this book. Yes, you can also get a copy by contacting us. Let it go by prophetess Precious Amaijekum. God richly bless you for staying with us. We are so much accelerated, for having you always as our family. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and also follow us. We are always grateful for your comments, for your advice. Our doors are always open. But don't forget also, we need sponsors, we need support in order to make impact in the lives of our generations. Together we can make impact. Together we can achieve this vision. Together we can do it. Honorable is doing it. Generational changes, we are doing it. All of us, we are generational changes. So let us come together and make this great impact. God richly bless you. Stay true. I hope you enjoy yourself. I really know that. I really know it. So, God willing, we will come your way with another great segment. We love you all. And I want to say a very big thank you to Soto Rep Design, all our videos, all the beautiful flyers you have been seeing. Yes, they have been sponsoring us, and God richly bless them so much. God bless all Generational Changes team. We love you all.